Well, I mean, watching and competing in The Masked Singer, I don't know if you know that show.
Hmm.
I think that is a perfect example, their amateurs can beat professionals, and that is what, spoiler alert, as Bill says, that's what we saw, on this show.
Tarts, pies, custards, cake. Welcome to Baker's Dozen. I'm Tamera Mowry-Housley, avid home baker.
I'm Bill Yosses, former White House Executive Pastry Chef.
Show off. We've gathered 13 of the most amazing bakers, experienced professionals.
I went to Le Cordon Bleu.
I went to pastry school out in Tustin.
Or talented home bakers.
I got started in baking during Corona.
I'm a molecular biologist.
5 years ago, I was almost homeless. I taught myself how to make chocolates, and people said, "You're not gonna make it." I'm all, watch me.
Oh my goodness, I have chills.
I have goosebumps.
We want to find the best baker out there.
Yeah, first I probably shouldn't be watching this show and I shouldn't be on this junket because I am an addict. I am an addict to pastries, okay? This is not good for me. Like this, I legitimately, no joke, it's empty. Like this is what the show inspired me to do.
Oh, wow.
Chicago Stand Donuts, probably one of the top donuts in Chicago here. Yeah, that's what it motivated to me. How do you restrain yourselves when you're around pastries like that? I know it'd be impossible for me, but how do you guys do it?
Well, I'm just gonna let you know I didn't. I love food. I'm a foodie. I just kept eating, but I did notice Bill ate all the pastries. Then when it was, time for a break, he would walk, or he would maybe eat a healthier lunch. I should have learned from him.
Well, you have it already nailed down, right? The process of eating and then walking it off or exercising it out.
I'd like to claim I do, but no, I still struggle with it. Yeah, I really think that, keeping it to a reasonable portion and not that frequent of indulgence and good ingredients is the secret. But of course, on a baking show, that's kind of hard to live up to. So, but we just jumped in, dived in both feet first, and really enjoyed eating all those delicious desserts.
Oh, I could imagine. One thing that blew me away about the show's concept was the inclusion of, I know you have the professional bakers, well, that's their job, but the amateurs, the YouTube train. Like I personally would probably burn down the house. I can't bake for my life of it. I use an air fryer to mainly cook, but I was so impressed by the amateurs. Did you guys have any sort of apprehension early on that will they really be into running? Could they really compete with the professionals before it started? Because clearly once you start watching, yes, everyone's on even playing fields, but is there any sort of apprehension initially, could they really pull it off with the pros?
Well, I mean, watching and competing in The Masked Singer, I don't know if you know that show.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a perfect example, their amateurs can beat professionals, and that is what, spoiler alert, as Bill says, that's what we saw, on this show. And it was pretty cool because it kept, the professionals on their toes. And what I love too is everybody was learning from each other, including Bill. Bill learned some things. I learned some things from Bill.
Yeah. And it's not only at the beginning. It was impossible to tell throughout the competition who was going to pull ahead, because both professionals and amateurs really pulled out all the stops, and they both accomplished things on their own. So we never knew from one challenge to the next who was going to be the winner until we actually got to the end.
Yeah, I also love how everyone seemed to be encouraging of each other. It's not like everyone's catty about each other. Everyone's very polite to each other and kind of in a sense rooting for each other, even though there's prizes at stake and the golden pin roller. But that was kind of surprising to me. Did you guys expect them to be so friendly? There it is. There it is. That's what everybody wants. Were you guys surprised how friendly they were with each other too during this competition?
We were pleasantly surprised at the camaraderie, and they bonded and helped each other. They still competed, but we were very happy that it didn't turn negative. There was no backstabbing, and we encouraged that positive energy.
And even when we were, giving our critique, our notes, we wanted to make sure it came from a very encouraging, uplifting, and positive place. And I think that's what makes this, baking competition show different as well. It's actually fun. And what we want people to take from this is the love of baking, and that anyone can do it if they put their mind, talent, and practice to it.
I wanted to end off on this fun note, I guess. I want to know from each other, what's your favorite thing about each other? Bill, what's your favorite thing about just Tamera as a person that you got to experience and get to know by working together?
There's a long answer and a long list.
Bill.
She's generous with her time and her talent. She's seasoned and I'm not. So talk about professional and amateur. She walked me through it. She showed me the way. She gave me space, let me make my mistakes. She's a wonderful, really just a kind, loving person and mother and actress and artist.
Gosh.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, right, Tamera?
Bill, I'm blushing. Oh my gosh.
What about Bill? What stood out to you getting to work with him and just getting to know him?
Well, being in the industry, I've met so many people, and Bill is obviously successful and, a professional. He's very down to earth. He's approachable. He is open to my crazy questions. I would always ask him things, and he would happily explain, give me, the answers. I also love that, he's willing to learn always. And as I mentioned before, when he's giving a critique, he's an amazing teacher. He knows how to give constructive criticism where you actually want him to give you something. You feel better after speaking to him. You feel like you will be better at whatever you do. You can be I remember some of the bakers, they would be down on themselves, and Bill would just give this inspirational, uplifting, honest, genuine speech from his heart. And that is very refreshing to see in our business. What you see is what you get with Bill. And
that's an ultimate compliment in this industry, Bill. So
I'm very complimented. Yeah. Yeah. It's the power of what Tamera always says. We try to always have empathy with everyone around us, not just the contestants, the crew, everybody.
That's a great approach. I feel like I learned about you guys too in this whole thing, and the show is so much fun and clearly influenced me to, clear out some donuts. But now I got to go to the gym.
Balance, Jim. It's all about balance.
That's right. A little bit of moderation of everything could be fine.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. So much fun connecting. Oh, there it is. It's rolling.
It is.
I got it. I'm 2 episodes in. I'm finishing it probably all tonight, binging it. So thank you guys.
Thank you, John.
Hope to connect on season 2. So there we go.
Season 2. Let's put it out there.